first I want to apologize for the background noise. Raynar's in the kitchen. So today is March 31st, and it is Trans Visibility Day. So, me being trans, of course, I felt the need to do a video. Today is for those of us who are out and proud to be even more out and proud, and just to help those who might not be out for whatever reason, to see that there are people that are out. There are people out there who are there for them, whether they are trans or just allies. So, I am a trans male. I did not come out as such until last year. The reason being is when growing up, I lived in an extremely Catholic household. So what I was feeling when I was a kid, I had no words for, first of all. I didn't know what a trans person was. I didn't know that term. I didn't hear that term until adulthood a few years ago, even though it's been around since the 90s or even later than that, earlier than that. So I had no words for it. And even if I had words for it at that time, there is no way I would have been able to say anything to my parents. More specifically, my dad. He was very gung-ho. Like, he didn't like the fact that I was pagan when I came out as pagan. After I moved out, he was very closed-minded. I think if given the chance, my mother would have been fine with it. My mother was a bit more laid back, so maybe she would have been okay with it, but I digress. I didn't have words for it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was feeling. I just knew back then that I did not feel like a girl. It started out, I didn't play with the same toys as other girls. I didn't dress the same way as other girls. I was made to wear dresses now and then, but my clothing of choice was jeans and a t-shirt. It's always been it's always been jeans and a t-shirt. It has always been on the more masculine side. So later on, so I didn't know what it was. I questioned my sexuality for many, many years. I decided that I was definitely not straight. Back in middle school, I think like the last year of middle school, I started to really be like, yeah, I'm not straight. I'm not straight. So I wasn't sure what I was. Then I kind of went and said, well, okay, maybe I'm bisexual. I kind of hop back and forth between being bisexual and being a lesbian, because you have the people that are like, okay, being bisexual, you know, it's part of, bisexuality is a thing, and then you have people that say bisexuality is not a thing. You're either a lesbian or you're gay or straight. I'm not going to get into that side, but I'm on this side. Bisexuality is a thing. So we continued on, and as I learned about different genders and sexualities, finally realized, okay, I am not bisexual, I am pansexual, which is you don't care what's between anybody's legs, you don't care how they view themselves as far as whether they are transgender or, bisexual, you don't care. You love a person for who they are, period. So that's where I'm at as far as my sexuality. And then last year, I was getting more and more depressed, and I was getting just more and more down on my body. Not just the weight, but just everything about my body. It was, I don't like my breasts. I didn't like the makeup. I put it on because I felt I had to, even though I didn't have to. And I was always told I didn't have to, but being female, for me, it was like, okay, I need to keep up this appearance of being female, even though I'm not female. And I never really thought I was female, but I didn't really, I always thought I was male. Maybe I was trapped in the wrong body, but again, I didn't have a word for it till many years later. So, anyway, yeah. So, as I was saying, um, it just got to a point where I was like, this is not me. This is not who I am. Who am I? I really just, I had an identity crisis. Like, who am I? What am I? And, having trans friends, and just talking to them, I'm like, oh, this is, telling me their experiences, and I'm like, this is me. This is me. I had, I had the name for it before, but I never really paid attention until last year because of how I was feeling about myself. So, my voice is really getting scratchy and high. Sorry about that. If it wasn't for the trans friends that I have, I wouldn't be where I was, where I am. Sorry, where I am. It was because of them that I was like, oh yeah, this is me. I had an epiphany, this is me. This is how I feel. So that's what got me started on my journey last year, and I told my husband, who who is extremely supportive. He said, my biggest fear as far as coming out was, is he gonna leave me? What am I gonna do? You're gonna make me cry. I wasn't planning on crying, and you're gonna make me cry on camera. I love you.
Love you too.
That was my biggest fear. I didn't care how friends saw me, because in my belief is friends will come and go over time. So, if friends decided that they weren't gonna stand with me, then whatever. But he's my husband. I love him. So, he has shown me all the love and support in the world. I'm thankful for that. And I've had a couple of now former friends who said they were with me, but then kind of just blatantly showed me that they weren't. So they are no longer in my life. But it's really important that those of us who are out and proud continue to put ourselves out there, because you don't know who's maybe struggling with their identity, and you don't know who's, I welcome questions, and I will tell my story to people who ask. I'm doing it now, today, because it is Trans Visibility Day, and I think I heard the door. And I feel like it's important to put myself out there even more, because this is our day. answer those questions. And I mean, you're going to have people that will come to you closed-minded and try to trip you up with questions. You know, I've had that too. I've had people who are like, who are just blatantly just trying to be butt heads about it, and I'm just like, okay. So those people, you know, just block them, do whatever you gotta do when they come to you and they start acting stupid about it. Otherwise, I encourage answering questions, because if we weren't out here answering these questions, if I didn't have trans friends who were willing to say, yeah, I'm trans and this is how I felt and this is, you know, what I went through, I wouldn't be where I am right now. Right now, all I'm waiting on is an email from a counselor about when I can start seeing them once weekly. And as I see them, I will be closer and closer to starting T. I will be a step closer to getting onto testosterone so I can look and feel more like myself. The step after that is probably more counseling and then at least top surgery. That will give me the male chest. As far as bottom surgery, I'm still researching. I'm still looking into that. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. But even if I don't do that, that does not make me any less of a man. Because there are people out there, and I do not know the term right off the top of my head, and I did not research it before doing this video. But there are people out there with, you know, they have both, they are male and female. And I'm not talking about transvestites. There is a medical term. No, there's something else. My husband says hermaphroditic, but there is another term for it, and I've seen it, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I might look it up and post it in the link in the down bar below. If I do, yay. If I don't, I'm sorry. It's been a long day, so. You can be trans and be pre-everything. You don't have to go on T, or you don't have to go on estrogen. You don't have to have surgery. You don't have to do any of it. You don't have to. It's what you feel, what you're comfortable with. But if you're out there and you're watching this and you are trans, you can message me on any of my social media outlets, whether it be Facebook, whether it be Instagram, Twitter. Feel free, because I'm here for you just as my friends were there for me when I had questions. I will answer your questions, and I will be your friend, and so will my husband. But I'm here for you guys, just like I had friends that were there for me when I had no clue what was going on with me. So, and it is really important that we stick together, whether we are trans or allies. And I'm just here for you. Now, if you're an ally, there's one thing that I need to address is if you are an ally and you know someone who is trans, or you think they might be trans, please do not out them. Today, there are people who will not come out because they have family who is not supportive, who might kick them out. They're afraid of any kind of backlash, whether it be verbal, physical. They're afraid of backlash. They're scared. they don't want to come out, and that's fine. Don't out them today or any day in any way. Be mindful of what you say. Now, if you want to let them know that you support them, you can do that in a private manner. Okay, do it privately where no one else is going to hear it or no one else is going to see it. Because if you out them, that that could not only be the end of your friendship with them, but that could possibly be the end of their lives because we are facing so much violence against us. The transgender female, the life expectancy is only 35. That's for that's for women. Trans women life expectancy is only 35, and the majority of it is from violence. So please, if you want to support somebody today, do it in the most private manner that you can, because you could be putting somebody's life at risk. So, happy Trans Day of Visibility. I hope everyone has a good night. And whatever it is you're doing, just keep going.